to play.
Greetings. Welcome to From the Hilt. This program may contain mature content. Viewer discretion is advised. Please enjoy the show. We may get a little loud.
Greetings, I am Logan the G.I. Joe Gamer, and tonight we're taking a look at Dreadnought Torch and Lowlight, in the reverse order, Lowlight first, and then Torch. Hope you guys are having a good evening. This is Joe Takes Classics, so we're watching the video. We're being simulcast on both From the Hilt and Logan the G.I. Joe Gamer channel, so if you are over on Logan the G.I. Joe Gamer channel and you're missing chat, jump over here. All right, so let's get into this. Tonight we're, like I said, looking at Lowlight and Torch. Let me get this up here ready to go. I'll take myself out down here. That's the wrong one. And that's the right one. All right, there we go. Let's see if I can get this started here. All right, guys, Lowlight time. So go, Joe.
Creeping through shadow, moonlight whispers down, eyes like a hawk, silent on the ground. The world is asleep, I'm wide awake, darkness my cover, every move I take, I see in the night, I breathe in the dark. Lowlight the name, hidden every mark. The city's still, not a soul to hear. Predator in silence, my prey is near. Cold in every corner, no sound around. Heartbeat steady, feet on solid ground. I see in the night, I breathe in the dark. Lowlight the name, hidden every mark. The city's still, not a soul to hear. Predator in silence, my prey is near. Cold in every corner, no sound around. Heartbeat steady, feet on solid ground. I see in the night, I breathe in the dark. Lowlight the name, hidden every mark.
You don't listen, no, I got a story to tell. About a guy named Logan, he's so swell. He's the G.I. Joe Gamer. Cool and weird, dropping from the characters, heroes, and villains, and midnight we shout. Yo, Joe, or Cobra, talking up to Dean and a Cobra tie. Joe's got snake eyes, a silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's two for me, so bold, gung ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Sky, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior to make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra command plots and schemes. She ruling the world in his dreams. Sultan is never what he seems. And Baroness spots that black leather outfit. Shoots you quick and slip out the back of the head. Yo, Cobra, go. Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe taste. Oh yeah, Yo, Cobra. Cobra got the characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing.
Warning. From the Hilt cautions that mature content may ensue during this video that includes foul language, possible adult situations, violent implications, and perhaps a little something something. Wink wink. Nudge nudge. A little racy even. Keep in mind that it's all in good fun. Now that we've gotten all prim and proper, please enjoy the show.
Greetings, I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer, and tonight we're taking a look at a very cool character, Lowlight from the Hilt, Joe Takes 51. Before I do that, though, I'm going to make a few announcements. Tonight is Spine Takes Live, link in the description. Please check us out. I'll be joining our host, Sith Lordly, and his lady in the chat, along with Dave C. Yeah, Uncanny Swag, Dan DeLaTorra, and maybe Perch, our buddy 0007 that was just here in the chat. I'll say, I'll give everybody a shout out here. We have Sith Lordly. How you doing, buddy? My bro. Our host for Spine Takes Live tonight. We got Callie and Jordan Squad. Hey, Dave. How you doing? Another Dave. My buddy. And we got Perch in here for a bit. So, well, thanks for joining me. And welcome to the show. Let me see. I was told it was Brady Bunch here. What's this warning? No Brady Bunch here, sir. Hello, Superior Cyber Godzilla. How's it going? Yes, we are talking G.I. Joe tonight, and I've got some cool characters for you to look at. So, well, I'm one character, but some cool figures, I should say. Dave C. Yeah, yes, sir. He'll be on Spine Takes Live tonight. As far as I know, anyway. I mean, sometimes we have things we have to do in our lives and we aren't able to make the show, but most of the time I do have my original Lowlight and What Would a Joe Takes Me without dropping a backpack or two. Let's see if I can get a better look at that. That's his backpack. I'm gonna get some light in there, man. Whee! There we go. All right. And of course, he has his sniper rifle, and I do not know what happened to the bipod that fitted right onto the end of that. Lost that years and years ago when I bought this figure in 1986. He did come with this cool Uzi too, and I really like Lowlight. Lowlight's really cool. He's definitely one of the cooler 1986 characters, along with like Beachhead and Wetsuit, and they had some good figures come out that way. The Sarge, you know, it was a good year for G.I. Joe. It really was. Later on in 1991, they released this guy, which I don't know why they had him have black hair. I mean, this figure looks awesome. This figure would actually make a really cool, different character. But it was Lowlight. They also had a one in 1989 that was for the Slaughters Marauders. I don't have that one. And then later on, I think in 93 or 94, they released this figure again in different colors and blonde hair with the Dino Ambush set. And I don't have that one either. I didn't even know about that one until years later. Let's see. Sith, whenever you need a guest, message me up, bro. Cottage Bro appearance number 2. Hey, that'd be nice. I haven't met you in person, Dave. That would be cool. This came with this helmet with this bulky Cyclops style visor. If I can stop that hand from shaking. Just an old man thing. That's where I'm at today. But without the helmet, I'll give you a better look. He's actually a really cool looking G.I. Joe. And he came with a knife. I think he came with another little gun, but I may have dropped it here. I don't remember. But this backpack that he came with had this light camera combination on it that just it spins around and it just pops right in and out of the backpack. And I thought that was pretty cool. See, it would be your number 3 appearance. Well, 4th time's the charm, or the 3rd time's the charm. Then that would be cool to hang out with you too, David, from the cottage, from the Spine Ticks Live Studios. Who does number 3 for work? I don't know. Only the ladies, as far as I know. They did have a modern version from the 20th anniversary style figures, the 4-inch figures, and I thought this low light was pretty cool. And I know they came out with another one in that era, but this is the only one I ever got. His goggles actually come off, and you can actually see his face, which I thought was cool. If it'll focus, kind of, sort of. Okay. Hello. Who is number 3, Dave or Swag? Well, I think I'm number 4 now. Swag and seniority. All right. This low light's cool because this flak jacket comes off and all that. And he came with this really cool sniper rifle, which is in a really cool case, and I put it somewhere and I couldn't find it today. I was looking all over for it. And then it came with this backpack and some other accessories, and they're probably all together in a little bag, and I don't know what I did with it. I may have even lost it in a move, or it could be in a bin somewhere. I have a lot of G.I. Joe stuff. So that's going to take us to our classified version of low light. And here's the box for him. And he's number 86 in the series, meaning he's out of there. Let's see. Dave is number 5 because he can't admit his love for Barry Bonds. No, wait a minute. See, we got Dave's number 2. Swag is 3. Dan is 4. I'd be 5. Number 5. Red 5 standing by. There we go. Anyway, so there's the artwork on the side, which is really cool. And then on the back, it just shows. I thought it was cool because they would show the accessories on the back. They don't do that anymore. They just show a couple of pictures and call it a day, which I have a new figure that I just got today, and I'll be showing that off on Spine Ticks. So check that out. And so it has one of the new boxes. Now, these ones, though, they came with these really cool boxes, and the figure just sits in there. I actually like this. And when you're ordering online, packaging doesn't matter. I can see in the store, but online, I've come to find out it didn't matter. And these ones with the boxes, I think are a lot better. They store better. They sit on the wall better, and you got a picture of the figure. But packaging art, you can see the figure through it, and it's cool. And I like those too. But these ones came with foot lockers, and I don't know why they stopped this. 86 low light, and all the accessories would fit in there. Just like that in the box, you can put them all in there. But I got them all out to show you today. So we can take a look at the classified low light, which is really cool. What's neat is they have a Slaughter's Marauders version of low light out for the classified series now. And that came and went on Hasbro Pulse and is gone. I think my bro Sith Lordly ordered one, so he might be showing them off fairly soon on Spine Ticks Live. Hello, Jess Lodge. Yo, Joe. Yo, Jess. Welcome. We're just looking at G.I. Joe today, low light. And yeah, like the 4-inch figure, his goggles do come off, and you can see his face, but these are on really tight, and they're a little stretchy. It's kind of cool. I like that. But I would definitely display him with the goggles down. Let me see here. Hey, Jess. All right, and he comes with this really cool sniper rifle that disassembles, just like the modern one did. And let me see if I can get a better look at that. Yeah, there we go. With the bipod, which I don't have for the original. All of this stuff breaks apart. The scope comes off. The silencer goes on either weapon, but it'll go in the case right here, this long case on the back, which I'll show you in a second. I'll take this all off, and we'll get a better look at it. And I'll give you a better look at the figure. G.I. Joe, who's that? Who's that? I don't know. Only one of the coolest storylines to ever come out of the 80s. from something that was created in the 60s. All right, so you got the backpack, has a little peg on the side, which you could put his. He should have come with an Uzi, but he didn't. He came with this little submachine gun, which is kind of cool. And like I said, the silencer, the suppressor can go on either weapon, which is neat. But let me show you how this pops on the backpack here, right through the trigger guard, right through the trigger hole there by the trigger guard, and it just rests right on the backpack, which is really cool. Now I'm going to put we'll take the sniper rifle off and give you a better look at it. And I'm going to put the suppressor on the sniper rifle so we can take a look at it. And hi, Logan and Sith and Callie and Jordan squad. Hey, Jess, it is good to see you. It's always good to see you. I hope you're feeling well today. And that takes a bit, but it's because it's got a really long stem, so you can slide it in there and it stays really well. This sniper rifle stays together great. Now, the reason why I had this one, my vintage low lights thumbs, I'm missing one thumb. I'm not missing both, but I didn't want to break the other one. G.I. Joe versus My Little Pony. I used to watch both of those, dude. I love both those shows. They were made by the same anime. They were both anime. People don't realize that, but G.I. Joe is anime as well. Let me see if I can do this. Here, give you a better look and compare the two. Maybe up and by my face, so you can have something behind it to look at other than black. I like to wear black, but yeah, very similar rifles. Not exactly the same. As you can see, the scope does come off, and there you go. Now, I'm going to show you the breakdown on. I'm not going to take the rifle apart because I'm going to display them again. For a while, I like to display my new figures for a while, and I haven't had low light for very long, so I thought it would be cool to take a look at a newer figure. But all those pieces break down and snap right into here, and it's kind of a pain to get them out of there. And then the rifle goes on the other side. Had a better look, and he can carry it handheld or. What's cool about this? I thought it was going to snap onto the backpack because it has this little peg hole, but it does not fit onto that peg. And I was like looking at it going, oh, duh. And the backpack fits right into the back of it. And then it goes onto his back. So he can carry both. And all his accessories go on this figure. You didn't know that? You didn't know what, Jess? What didn't you know that G.I. Joe? You were not in low light, which is what I was expecting. Oh, well. I know that there's a musical artist out there called Low Light because I was trying to make music with low light and it kept telling me you can't do that in Suno because there's an artist with that registered name, and it's like, but this character's name is Low Light, so I had to trick the AI to get the AI to sing Low Light. Now he's got this little accessory here that I'm not sure what it's for. Might be a communication device. All his night vision stuff is in his goggles, but he really doesn't need them. Low light sees extremely well in the dark. He does come with a combat knife. What he does not come with, he comes with an Uzi, so a submachine gun. So I guess it's okay. They consider that his sidearm. But I think all Joes should come with a combat knife and a sidearm. I've said it before. I'll say it again. But let me bring. So I liked it that he came with an Uzi originally, plus the sniper rifle. The side by. Let me put his goggles back down so we can get a proper comparison on its two figures. Let's see. Now, I don't know anything about the other low light there, Jess, but this is the low light I know. And the comparison on the two figures, as you can see, he had the knife on the original mold there. I'm not trying to flip you off, sorry. And then he had something on this leg. Now, I'm not sure what that was ever for. I mean, there's a groove and a slot there. And I thought it was for the Uzi, but the Uzi doesn't fit in there properly. So I'm not sure what that was ever for. And if anybody knows, let me know. But I never found out. And between the two figures, the back, I thought they did a really good job of updating this figure. Both times. I mean, because then we got the modern one too. from the 25th anniversary in 2011 is when this came out. Yeah. Saying hi to Cyber Godzilla. It's good to see everybody here today. I was hoping this 6 o'clock time slot would be better, and I can do this, and then I can go on Spine Ticks at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time is when Spine Ticks start. I've also got 2 videos dropping after this, the file card that I'm about to play, and then that video I played at the beginning with the song Eyes in the Night also will both be posted on my channel at 7 and 7:15 tonight. It's for his dildo. Well, Jess Laws, this is why I have immature content warning, because I have friends that do this. All right, so that is the figure. What do we know about the character? Well, he was in the animated series. He was also in the comic series, which we'll take a look at. But before we do that, what I'm going to do, hi Jess, is I am going to play the file card video I made this month as part of G.I. Joe Gold Bricks, which has been going on. I've been doing a file card every day for G.I. Joe Gold Bricks. It's a kind of a continuation from Cobra Convergence, which was a large content creator thing in July that has happened for the last almost 10 years. It happened for 9 years. It missed a year, so we had Cobra Convergence 8. The founder is retiring from YouTube this year, so I don't know if we're having a Cobra Convergence 9 next year. I hope so. But I decided last year that I had my entry, and I sent him to the founder, and he played them on his channel, which was really cool. And that didn't happen this year, and it just seemed kind of, I don't know. It wasn't the same. Cobra Convergence wasn't the same this year. And, I don't have the contacts to start up Cobra Convergence again myself, and that would be cool. But some of the hopefully one of the other larger content creators will step up and continue Cobra Convergence. But the year that Hooded Cobra Commander 788 was not involved, Cobra Convergence didn't happen. A couple of them tried, but it just didn't work out. And that was before I was doing YouTube. But I started last year G.I. Joe Gold Bricks, so this is the second year of it. And for Cobra Convergence this year, besides my Crimson Guard video last month, which you didn't get to do live, but it was still really cool. I'm so happy to be back live with you guys doing this. I'm glad I can do it at 6 o'clock, the time slot that I put the Crimson Guard video at, and that seemed to work really well. So there it is. I lost my train of thought. But G.I. Joe Gold Bricks, I decided to do a file card a month for Cobra Convergence, so I did one for G.I. Joe Gold Bricks as well. So I have a lot of G.I. Joe file cards and a lot of Cobra file cards that I can play with my G.I. Joe videos. Tomorrow night I'm doing a look at Flash. I don't have the vintage Flash, but I do have some cool Flash figures to look at you, and I'm hoping they do a classified version of Flash. He's not my favorite of the OG 13, but I don't know why they haven't done a figure of him yet. There's a few of the original 13 that they still need to do, 4 or 5, if I'm correct. But here is my code name Lowlight for you.
Showtime. Yo, code name Low Light, Sharpshooter and Night Spotter. Like Mike Gray, D9 Sergeant Major U.S. Army. Birthplace, Crosby, North Dakota. Primary specialty, infantry, Night Spotter. Secondary specialty, marksmanship instructor, sharpshooter. Qualified expert, M14, M16, M19, 11A1, M3A1, M79, M60. Graduated Advanced Infantry and Sniper School and Bird Weapon. Any sniper rifle. Low Light is the G.I. Joe team's night operations expert, specializing in image intensification techniques and reduced line combat tactics. As a child in North Dakota, Low Light was afraid of the dark until precarious hunting expedition when he lost his way in the impenetrable hunting expedition when he lost his way in the impenetrable darkness. He was found 3 weeks later with a flashlight, 22 rifle, and a grin from ear to ear. 10 years later, he became an instructor in the Army Marksmanship Program in Fort Benning and a self-taught expert on image intensification. Work as a special agent with the CID, Criminal Investigation Division. Low light's workday begins when the sun goes down. Low light can precisely locate what most people doubt is even there. No dark hallway, back alley, or shadowy figures beyond about the night is as clear as day to him, like he has a sixth sense or something. Cobra once attempted a covert midnight attack through the San Andreas Fault, only to find low light waiting on the other side. Don't even think about getting in the slip because no one knows the night better than low light. From General Hawk's file. During the daylight hours, he's as competent as most elite soldiers, but in the dark, it's like he flips a switch. Oh, he's got all the night vision gear that we've got, but low light simply doesn't need it. He sees so well in the dark that you'd swear he had the gear surgically implanted in his eyes. Come back on Amateur Night Clowns. Showtime!
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe, fighting for freedom wherever there's trouble, we're ready to see it.
Hope you enjoyed that. I've had a lot of fun making those file card videos, and it helps with these videos because then I just, instead of like reading the file card if I have one, or reading it from, I used to read them from the computer because I have a copy of all the file cards, of JPEG or something on my computer, whatever form of medium we're talking about here. Let's take a look at this. As far as I know, the only Marvel Comics cover with low light. Now there is a newer one with low light that I think was IDW, with him with the bats. It's part of my thumbnail, which is really cool. That one I've never read, so I wouldn't mind getting a copy of that. That would be cool. But here is Special Missions 8. Now in this storyline, low light was not a big player in the Larry Hama run of G.I. Joe, but he liked to use him in special missions quite a bit because, well, that's what he is a special mission operator. So this one was really cool. There was a federal agent in this that was having the Joes go on this mission to recover these microchips. Well, this federal agent was doing a double cross, of course, on the Joes, and had done the psych eval on low light and thought he knew exactly what low light would do. Of course, low light disappointed him in the end. Well, actually, he made him think that he did exactly what he wanted because he thought he couldn't kill the guy because of what was in his file. But Federal Agent Johnny Utah, now, that was Point Break last night, sir. But yes, Special Agent Johnny Utah, 2 from Utah. Yeah, me and the Tiger. 2 more, Utah, 2 more. Okay. That was my bad Gary Busey impersonation. Anyway, Lowlight in this went and had to break off from the group, and Flint led this mission. Beachhead was his number 2. This is a badass special mission. They're in total jungle. They lay an ambush for these dudes, and these dudes were actually pretty skilled. Tunnel Rat was in this too. Leatherneck, awesome. I don't know why they have lift ticket here, because Wild Bill was flying the helicopter, so he could have been back here, but he was Wild Bill's co-pilot in this instead of the other way around, because Wild Bill's the better pilot. Hello, Barry S. How you doing? How is there not a top rated R G.I. Joe film franchise by now? I don't know, Barry. I really don't. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and welcome to our community. We got a lot of cool people in the chat. Everybody check out everybody else's channels and sub up if you want to. Most of you have wrenches. But if not, to help Barry S out, he's looks new to the channel. So we welcome you if you're new. And he's up. Yep, I just got a notification saying you're a new subscriber. So welcome, sir. Hope you enjoy our content. We have a lot of G.I. Joe, a lot of music. We do a lot of role-playing games and stuff. I wanted to show you guys the scene here at the end where this Fed is laughing at him. They're in the helicopter. And this Fed is laughing at him, telling him he read his psych eval and all that. And that he wouldn't do it. And he's all pointing at him laughing because the Joes had worked him over when they found out that he had put a thing in their radio that would make a loud noise to basically blow their cover. But then Lowlight went, no, I didn't kill him, but I did take those microchips, which this federal agent actually didn't want the microchips back. It was like a weird double cross. He had to make it look like he wanted to get them back, but he really didn't. We have a Barry that frequents the Hilt. Yes, we do. We have Barry, yes, but that's okay. We welcome anybody who's cool to our community, and so welcome aboard. If you like comics and you like cool stuff, then keep on riding with us in that 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, where I'm going to be on Spinetics Live with Mr. Spinetics there, Sith Lordly, who's our host, and the rest of our really cool panel. We talk comics, we talk sports, sometimes G.I. Joe too. It's a really good show, Spinetics Live, and there is a link in the description. So welcome, sir. Hope you enjoy the content. Now, so for the rest of the Marvel run, like I said, he was in a few of the special missions. He was in a few of the regular issues, but never was a major character in the eyes of Larry Hama. But, Larry Hama had, by 1986, he had over 50 G.I. Joes that he could write about. And so he had his core group pretty much before Lowlight even came into the storyline. Now, he did slowly introduce new characters as the series continued in the Marvel run, and then even more in the IDW run, which is fantastic if people haven't read that. It's Larry Hama continued and right from where he left off. Very cool. So definitely check out comics if you're into G.I. Joe and Chihuahuas, cats and Chihuahuas. Okay. But there is a current Image series by Skybound, I think is the Image company that's doing it. See, hell yeah. What do you think of the new G.I. Joe comics? I'm just going to talk about it. I haven't really read them. I've read a few of them. I haven't had a chance to pick them up. I'm kind of disappointed about that. But my local comics book store, my LCS, they do not carry them. I have to order a subscription, and I haven't been able to do that for a while because of my circumstances at the moment, but that's life. So we do what we can, right? And that, from what I understand, that series is doing well. I've read the first 3, and Larry Hama introduced zombies for the first time into the G.I. Joe universe. It was interesting and cool. It had been a thing that in the background for a while that could have happened. They finally did it, and it's the way he did it is unique and different and pretty cool. The zombies are still the people that they were. They're just a little bit more powerful and kind of dead. It's kind of interesting. Larry Hama for life. Yes, sir. I just put Maisie back outside and it started raining. Oh, well, that's Florida for you. All right, now that we've done all that, I'm going to put on some background music here. And it's still low from last night. Cool. All right, now for the Sunbow series, Lowlight wasn't in it until the second season. Hello, Canadian Survivalists. Haven't seen you for a bit. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you being here. I'm talking Lowlight today. Now in the Sunbow series, they appeared in Arise Central Arise. Right away on the very first mission with the new guys, they went out to see what the Dreadnoks were up to with Sergeant Slaughter. And he took Sergeant Slaughter, Beachhead, and Lowlight, and they rocked at the little mini unit. She drove after basically the Sergeant took the beat. So, I know it's also a broad term for the entire squad, but sometimes so that the unit is actually 2 Joes. I picked up the latest Joe issue on NCBD. Cool. Saying hi to Canadian Survivalists. We'd like to welcome our friends in our community, and everybody's our friend so long as we play it cool. So everybody so far has been cool, so we keep rocking that way. All right, so in the Sunbow series, when Beachhead, Lowlight, Sergeant Slaughter. They went and were basically spying on the Dreadnoks, and then went and there was a confrontation and ended up getting chased by the Thunder Machine. That was a pretty cool scene, but it really wasn't Lowlight. But he did say a really cool line. He said, "Eddie's sister's he," and he grabbed her. She was trying to burn their orders, but he ended up getting some of it, and Joe's ended up running away from the Thunder Machine because how do you compete with that on the ground? You yell at troublemakers? Yes. Fine, me too, buddy. He's my bro. Yeah. Yes, Lars. All right. But yeah, and so they ended up bringing back the info and the intelligence that they needed about trying to create some Fedor. And later on, there's a few of the storylines. I think it's one. It's the one where his sister got kidnapped by Cobra, and they were doing this glamour girls thing where they were trying to get young girls so this old lady could steal their faces, basically, and become young again. And one of the ones they took was Lowlight's sister, who was a model. And that was a really cool episode. And Lowlight confronted Flint, and they were like, "You gotta listen to dial tone," you know. And, even though Flint was like, "Yeah, I want to talk to you about unauthorized use of guns." It was pretty cool. Very good episode. Another one, he was Nightmare Assault, which was really good, where the Joes were being assaulted by Cobra. They were invading Joe's nightmares and basically making it so the Joes couldn't sleep. Hey, Cool Gamer, what's up? And if you haven't seen any of the Sunbow series, if you like G.I. Joe, check it out. Even the second season was good. I have it all. It's up there on top of my DVD rounder there at the moment. You know, I got the Foot Locker with the entire run, first, second season, and all the mini series. It had a spot for G.I. Joe the movie, and I happened to have it, so I put it in there too. So I have all the stuff from Sunbow. And then later on, I picked up the Geek series, which wasn't good, but it was still interesting. They had some pretty cool episodes. But in Nightmare Assault, like I was starting to say, Cool Gamer is back with you. Welcome, Cool Gamer. Thanks for being here. But in Nightmare Assault, Lowlight was the only one who didn't sleep anyway. So when he realized the Joes were being attacked that way, he actually went into the dream, took over the dream, and basically pushed Dr. Mindbender out of their dream. It was really cool. Do you have a favorite G.I. Joe artist in the comics? His name is escaping me right now. He's the guy who did all the G.I. Joe card backs. G.I. Joe card back artist. And I bet you I'll get his name. Hector Garrido. That's right. His name is Hector Garrido. He's passed away now, but he was really awesome. He did all the lovely comic book card backs. I did have a cover of Special Editions 8 to show you. This pic really sucks. And I thought I'd just show you the actual cover of the comic. And that would be better. Michael Gold is yours. What's he worked on? I know Todd McFarlane did an issue of G.I. Joe, but they didn't release it, and they had another artist do it. So later on, they released it as a special. McFarlane became big on Marvel. Marvel with Spider-Man and Venom, stuff like that. But now, let me know who Michael Golden is and what his work is, and I probably know it. I'm not really big on an artist name. I know Larry Hama, and I know some of the other writers like Laylock and stuff that wrote on the G.I. Joe comic series. But I'm a writer, so that's where that's live. Another live. He did Nom as well. Larry Hama wrote the Nom. Yes, I have an issue of that. That was pretty cool. I never could find the Nom. That was a very violent series, but it was really cool by Larry Hama. He writes what he knows. So I wonder if he knows about Canadian Mounties and Werewolves, because he's got Canadian Mounties versus Werewolves is his new Kickstarter. Hopefully we'll talk about that tonight on Spine. We're doing Canadian Heroes. Make some shorts for my small comic collection. Maybe that would be cool, Jess. And it's easy to do. You just talk about the comic and you can show off the cover and some of the things. Just give your opinion on it. or not even that, just show pictures. That works too, Jeff. Whatever you want to do. You never even have to appear on camera if you don't want to. Anyway, kind of his run in the comics and in the Sunbow cartoon. Now, he also was in the Geek series. On the very first mini series on that, I think my music is a little too loud. I'm yelling over it, so I'll put it down here real quick. It will not leave me alone for whatever reason. Naturally, I've been bothered by flies all day, and the second I go live, I got a fly. All right, so turn my music down. Anyway, he was in the Geek series. The very first miniseries was called Operation Dragonfire, in which starred Sergeant Slaughter and the Marauders. And Lowlight played a big part in that, where he went after Scoop when Scoop was a Cobra agent originally in that cartoon, not in the comic or on the file card of the action. But in the cartoon, the animated Operation Dragonfire, Scoop basically was Crimson Guardsman who infiltrated the Joes. He was a reporter reporting on stuff that they were working on, and he saved Sergeant Slaughter's life, so Sergeant Slaughter invited him on to the show, which is kind of cool because Sergeant Slaughter was kind of the de facto G.I. Joe leader at that time. They had a really good run on that Operation Dragonfire, and Lowlight basically went after him and thought he was Kieran Gordon. And he had this. Yeah, he didn't have. I don't know if he had Charlie Adler's voice in that one like he did in the animated series, the Sunbow series, and in the G.I. Joe the movie, the animated movie. But they had somebody doing a pretty good job of it. That was like that. I'm getting distracted. But he did a couple of episodes of the regular Geek series as well in this uniform. Where him and Scoop were buddies at that point, and you know they weren't bad. And one of them was like Night of the Pharaohs or something like that, and they tried to come off that he was scared of ghosts. It's like that. You see, there were certain things that they did that were like that character wouldn't do, and that's kind of what I didn't like about the D series. But there are things about the D series that I do like, so I do have that. So anyway. To sum up, Lowlight is a really cool character. He's a night spotter. He's a sniper, and he's probably their best operative at night. I don't know why he was never included in Night Force. And my own headcanon, Lowlight is the number 2 on Night Force. Falcon is the officer in charge, and Lowlight is the platoon sergeant for Night Force. To me, it just makes sense. They made Lowlight, they promoted him later on in the early 2000s to sergeant first class, and it just kind of makes sense that he would gradually move into the Night Force and become the number 2 on that team. He is their premier night operative. I don't know why they never included him in the Night Force. It just didn't make any sense to me, but in my headcanon, that's where he's at. He is the show's top sniper. He is their premier night fighter. Any operation at night, Lowlight's their guy. Also, if they need Overwatch, Lowlight's their guy. So that's in my headcanon. That's who Lowlight is, and that's where he's at. He's basically Lowlight is G.I. Joe's guy that he covered. Now, in the G.I. Joe Origins series, which Larry Hama wrote, that originally was Shooter's job, but I think after Shooter was killed, that's why they brought Lowlight. It was shortly after, that happened in the storyline of Larry Hama's storyline. So, I know Lowlight came out in the fifth wave of the Real American Hero series. Yeah, we didn't call them waves back then. That's why as I've gotten older, I've gotten used to all this new lingo for it, where the Joes come out in waves. But, the 1986 wave, Lowlight came out. Pretty cool. I do dig this figure. I liked him in the cartoon. I liked him in the comic books. He's still an awesome character. And I am happy to get my take on one of the I think one of the baddest ass Joes there is, as far as being a sniper and operating at night, is the premier Joe for that type of mission. And that is my take on low life. So I hope you enjoy that. I do have a short video that I'm going to play for you that has art and file cards and stuff for you to take a look at. You see here. I never liked when he had the Cyclops visor. Yes, this thing. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I wasn't very fond of this either. I actually have two of these because I had two low life in this because I was going to try to paint him blonde, but I decided against it. I don't know why, and I ended up giving it to my brother or something. You never know what happens when, with younger people, what you do with your stuff. Yeah, I agree. I didn't really care for that Cyclops visor. On that, we see eye to eye, Barry. Yes. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And definitely check us out on Spinekicks Live tonight on the Spinekicks Live channel. I'll link in the description. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed my take on low life. I'm going to cut this music here, and I'm going to put this video on for you, and I will say that's not the one. That's the wrong way. I'm supposed to do this one. But anyway, yo, Joe, we'll see you next time on Joe Takes.
Showtime.
Creeping through shadow, moonlight whispers down, eyes like a hawk, silent on the ground. The world is asleep, I'm wide awake. Darkness my cover, every move I take. I see in the night, I breathe in the dark. Long like the name, hidden every mark. The city still.
Wow, come back on Amateur Night, clowns.
I think you might need an exit strategy.
Rolling down the road like thunder, liver cuts, buzzing cuts, you'll hear the rumble. Tremble before us as we make our way. Nomads across the world, revving our engines with excess, just enough to impress. Oh yeah! We are dreadnoughts, in town giving shots. We're mean and cruel, taking everything right down to your fuel. Dreadnoughts are coming, you will be succumbing. Dreadnoughts. Blades, bullets, and fire, wherever we go. Trouble will follow, disaster in our wake, making you quake. Dreadnoughts. Oh, you'll be seeing us soon. A band of vipers playing our tune. Always on the move, rolling down the road, nothing to prove. Buzzer cuts and clean, with the rope tearing to your spleen. Torch will burn you alive, a trail you'll not survive. The thunder machine will run you down. Pressure will crush you with a frown. Monkey wrench will blow you apart, while Santa will rock you without heart. Dreadnought! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Whoa. We are dreadnoughts, in town giving shocks. We are mean and cruel, taking everything right down to your fuel. Dreadnoughts are coming, you will be succumbing. Dreadnoughts. Led by the family C, Xandar will do it all unseen. Serrano will make you feel like a clown. Top 10 will just cut you down. An army of one rope pick will see you done intense. Naga High will track your movements. Beware the doom cycle. Storm Rider is a genuine article. Burnout will keep us in repair. While Hot Wrencher will make you despair. Not to forget Daughter C, Sunny Light's going on a killing spree. Oh yeah! We are dreadnoughts, in town giving shocks. We are mean and cruel, taking everything right down to your fuel. Dreadnoughts are coming, you will be succumbing. Dreadnoughts. Dreadnoughts are coming, you will be succumbing, succumbing. Dreadnoughts. Yo, Jay, listen up, I got a story to tell. I got a Logan, so swell. He's the G.I. Joe gamer. Cool and weird, talking about the characters, heroes, and villains at midnight we shout. Yo, Joe, or Cobra, talking about the Joe Dean and a Cobra tie. Joe's got snake eyes, a solid ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. There is truth to lead, so go gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Sky, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got death souls, supply the weapons, Cobra command, plots and schemes. She ruled the world in his dreams. Saw his hand is never what he seems. And down his spots that black leather outfit, shoots you quick and slipped off the back of the head. Yo, Joe, Cobra, oh. Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe taste. Oh yeah, Yo, Joe, Cobra. Cobra got the characters, it's a G.I. Joe game.
Warning. From the Hilt cautions that mature content may ensue during this video that includes foul language, possible adult situations, violent implications, and perhaps a little something. Wink wink. Nudge nudge. A little racy even. Keep in mind that it's all in good fun. Now that we've gotten all prim and proper, please enjoy the show.
Greetings, I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe gamer. Today on Joe Takes 52, we are talking about Torch from the Hilt. We're going to start by taking a look at the vintage figure, which I have, and he's in, for as often as I played with him, he is in really good shape. And before I forget, it's good to see you, Robert. Thanks for joining me. I said hey to you in the chat already, but it's good to shout everybody out when they come in. And you were here before the show even started, so thank you for being here. Anyway, that's what he looks like, the original figure. Now, I played with him so much that the flesh-colored paint came off of his chest, and all the white that was on the skull necklace came off. But if take a look, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can get it. It actually looks pretty cool, the skull in black. So it's to me, I've never thought about touching it up with paint or anything. The Torch is definitely my favorite of all the Dreadnoks. I think second maybe Road Pig, but I always thought this was a cool figure. I even like the armband on the left arm there. Now, when I took him out of the package today, my plastic baggie that I keep him in, I noticed that his arms were on backwards, and he didn't need a new O-ring. Evidently I had replaced it recently, and but I put the arms on the wrong side, so I had to switch them back before I started. So it doesn't take much. Just take the screw out the back and you put the arms back on the right place. And I have done that in a video before where I showed a repair. This is his original backpack with that the acetylene torch would plug into, in this little hole back here. It's a little dinky hole there that the torch plugs into. Now, I don't know where mine is. I looked through all my accessories today and I could not find it. However, I do have another example that I will be showing you. But before I did that, I wanted to take a look at this modern carded figure. Now, they did it okay with this particular torch. I mean, he looked good, and the acetylene torch was really cool. And there's his file card. So, okay, I do love this style of card. It's still my favorite. I don't know why they ever would change, because this is what worked. It did so well for decades, almost 2 decades. And then they decided to go with different packaging, I guess. Now, the reason why I wanted to show that is because there was a better modern version of Torch, and it came with a comic 2-pack with Ripper, and so I ended up with an additional Torch from the modern line, and I do have one out of the package of that other one, but I prefer this one that looked closer to the vintage. So I'll definitely pop this guy back up here. Now, the acetylene torch is what I was talking about. This is the exact same mold, only they did remold it a little bit. The attaching cord does not fit in the vintage backpack, which kind of sucks. But there you go. See, they did a pretty good job of making the comic book pack one look like the original. Now, I don't know why they went and for the regular release that came out in 2008, I think, or even 2009, but I'm pretty sure it was 2008. They made his vest brown and his pants darker blue. I mean, it was okay. It just didn't look like Torch, like the original Torch. Now, like I said, this one did. Now, they attempted to put this little peg on his leg that the acetylene torch can fit in. It doesn't fit very well in his hand, but I don't know how this is supposed to go on there. It just doesn't really fit in there very well. And no matter how you turn it, if you turn it the wrong way, it messes with the cord and everything. And it kind of goes in there. And there is a little thing that they added to the top of this particular torch that does kind of clip on there, but it doesn't stay. It just because the way they set it, this is kind of a hard, almost wiry plastic, but it doesn't let you move it around very well. And so much so you put it in the hand and it doesn't even stay in the hand very well. It just pops right back out after just a little bit. The cord itself actually forces the gun to pop out of the hand, but you can get it in there. It stays okay, but that's about it. There were certain things I didn't like about the modern line, and that was one of them. Accessories, the way they changed them, and the peg holes in the feet. They made everything incompatible with the vintage, which I always thought the vintage figures were really cool. Now, on Torch, he had a pistol on his left side, so that made him left-handed. And then he had a knife on the left. Now, they changed that on the classified, but before we get into the classified, we'll take a look at the box. And this is the packaging. And it looks like it's just like, these symbols, nobody even cares, I don't think. I mean, I don't know if anybody takes the time to look them up, But there's the front of the box. And he's number 123 in the series. So it took him 123 figures to put Torch out. And then, of course, they had this really cool artwork, which I have in the thumbnail even and in the videos. So they did a good job on the artwork on this figure. So that was pretty cool. But you know, they put out a really decent classified figure. And when you compare him up to the modern one, I think they did a better job on the classified. I mean, they look very similar. I mean, they've got the same colors. They've got you know, what they did change up on the modern, on the classified, is they changed the color of the sunglasses that Torch wears. Doesn't bother me that much. The coloration, it should have been black, but I don't know why they went with maybe to set it apart from the vest and the boots. But you know, that's kind of what made it all go together, his ensemble, you know. And the updated Torch, the blowtorch, is really cool. I really dig this this particular version of Torch. I'm glad they finally put him out. I'm glad they saved him for the last, because they made some really good improvements with Ripper, but then when they put Buzzer out, they kind of screwed some things up. So they went with his glasses don't come off. So, and I'm kind of glad, because Rippers was awesome. They go on there great, they stay on there, but the Buzzer's glasses just fall off all the time. And in that Dreadnoks video, Brothers in Arms 2, that I played at the beginning, as you can see, I had Buzzer holding his glasses in place because they won't stay. But they did a good job of updating the backpack with the fuel line and everything. And this hose is flexible, so you can move it around. And you know, that was one of the issues that they fixed. Now they had a knife on his right hip, on his right thigh, I should say, but they decided to go with 2 pistols, and I kind of like that. I even put that on display in on Joe Takes 52, which I'll play at the end of this Joe Takes, like I normally do. But some of the coolest things that they've added to this was the flame tattoos on his arms. I think that's pretty badass. And then what you got is he came with blast effects. So you've got the hit like it at idle, where the little flame is just sticking up, and then you pop that off really quick. And they have 2 different settings for like when the Torch is first blasting out fire. And so it comes out of his hand pretty easy. I mean, there are ways to display them really cool, but as you're moving them around, like I'll just take this out of his hand while I'm displaying the blast effects. I mean, look at that. It's incredible. And you know, it depends on how you want it. You can do it any which way, and it's kind of cool. Now they did come with, like I said, a different setting with the longer flame stream, which I think that is badass. I thought they did a really good job with this, and like I said, they just peg in there really good. I mean, the pegs on these are extra long and flexible plastic, so they don't break. So what you have here is a dynamic product, and attached to the fuel pack is awesome. What would be neat is if the flame glowed with a light. You know, it might. I've never tried that, but I guess if you had it in the dark and you shined a light on it, it might glow. I never have tried that. That's a good idea, Robert. Hey, Jess, what's up? We got Jess Laws in the house. Did I say anything weird last night? Yeah, a little bit. You were okay. I mean, yeah, you were kind of out of it, but that's okay. We get it, Jess. It's all good. Just showing off this Dreadnok, as it were. My favorite of the Dreadnok series, and we'll be talking about the character here. Pretty cool. Hello, Aslam. Welcome. We haven't had you in the chat before. We appreciate you joining us. If you like Dreadnoks and you like G.I. Joe, then you're in the right place. So welcome. Yeah, what's that? Hello, Jess Laws. Yes. All right. So this figure, though, I'm going to give it a close of a view as I can. is really cool. They've even got the skull necklace that actually is a necklace. It comes off. And let me see if I can, I'm moving it around the wrong way there, but see if I can get in there. It's with my big old fingers, it's hard to grab a hold of things sometimes. And yes, hi Robert and welcome Aslam. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you all being here. But yeah, that skull necklace, and again, let me see if I can get it to focus. That skull necklace is pretty cool on Torch, just like it was on the original. And he's got chains wrapped around his wrists so he can use them as weapons if needs be. It's kind of cool. And these pistols, I'll only pop one out because they're identical, but it's a cool pistol. And it is set up to pagan blast effects, just not these ones for the blowtorch. They're too big. But yeah, it's just a standard. Looks like a 9mm Beretta. It could be a 44, but I doubt it. Let's see, you fell asleep. I think after chill time started, I woke up after it. And no worries, no worries. Hey, Cool Gamer, how you doing? Welcome. Just looking at Torch today. And the classified version of Torch is really cool. Now, I didn't check Ripper's back on the vest. Originally, one of them said Melbourne Maulers on it. I thought it was Torch, but I think it was Ripper because it's definitely not there. It could be that the paint wore off too. Everybody saying hi to Cool Gamer. Welcome. And I like these. These are actually rigid. You can feel them. They're like metal spikes sticking up, or metal just metal studs on his vest, and the chains on the vest match the ones on his wrist and belt. He's got a chain belt there. I thought this was, and his boots were really cool. I thought better than the original. I mean, the original came up about the same space, but then that had these rigid designs on the back, which was kind of cool. On the original, it was a well-designed figure for 1985 when it came out. It was actually it didn't have the ballpoint head yet, so it was like it was a 1984 figure, because in 1985 they redesigned the G.I. Joe figures, and they had a neck that was on a ballpoint instead of solid, so the neck actually moved forward and back instead of just side to side. Let me show you what I mean here. This head only twists. It can go all the way around, but you know, it will not go forward. Hello, Alan Williams. Welcome. If you're looking, if you like Dreadnoks, then you're in the right place for G.I. Joe. It's good to see you, buddy. Thanks for joining us. But that's Torch, the classified Torch. It's pretty cool. So that's going to take us to the character of Torch. Now, in the cartoon series, in the Sunbow, he started in Revenge of Cobra. Sheamus from WWE would play a good Torch. I haven't seen him, so I don't know. You're probably right. G.I. Joe for show. There you go. Yeah. Hello, Alan. Yes. Yes. Well, it's good to see everybody. Thank you for joining me. Now, like I was saying, Torch started out on Revenge of Cobra, the original animated. It was the second miniseries that came out in 1984. So they were kind of ahead of their time because the figures didn't come out till 85. Say hi to Robert. So in 1984, you had Revenge of Cobra, and the Dreadnoks were in that, and they were pretty cool. Then they were in the next miniseries, which was the Pyramid of Darkness. And so with the Pyramid of Darkness, they played a big part where they took over this Space Station Delta. Sheamus is back in shape. Oh, okay. I don't know wrestling, so you guys are probably right. I know G.I. Joe. That's what I know. G.I. Joe and Dungeons and Dragons. There's a lot of other stuff I know too, but those are my main hobbies. So in the cartoon, he had a lot of cool episodes. The very first one, Countdown for Zartan, it opens the very first episode of the series. After the 3 miniseries opens with the Dreadnoks, and they're trying to teach some Cobra Troopers how to break stuff, really. And Torch demonstrated how his flamethrower worked, and it was pretty cool. He said, "You destroy the foundation, and the rest comes tumbling down." So it was a really cool episode. Countdown for Azarchin, if you haven't seen it. Dreadnoks had a pretty good part in that. There were several other animated adventures with in season 1 with the Dreadnoks. I mean, you had Cobra. There was one where they had an election, and I'm trying to think of the name of the episode right now, and everything's just flying out of my head because I'm live, and that's just how things roll. But they were trying to get a mayor elected that was a Cobra in, I think, Chicago is what it looked like, and the Dreadnoks actually kidnapped. They actually took Snake Eyes, Spirit, and Zap prisoner. And they were using these kids to do their bidding and paying them, so that at first it didn't look like it was Cobra. I guess that's why the Dreadnoks weren't taking any active hand. But so Snake Eyes was probably trying not to hurt these kids who actually are the ones who took him prisoner. Someone should make a movie combining G.I. Joe and D&D. I would like that. I would like that too. That would be interesting, to have the G.I. Joe characters go into a medieval like D&D setting and have them be like they're portraying a D&D character, but they're themselves. That would be kind of cool, Jess. That'd be an interesting plot line. In season 2 of the Sunbow series, you had the Dreadnoks quite a bit. They were in Arise Serpentor Rise. There was an episode called Cobrathon that featured the Dreadnoks. That was pretty funny. And they were there trying to take on Flint, Low Light, and Dial Tone, and didn't work out very well for them. But that's how it is. That's the Dreadnoks role. They're I think in the cartoon they weren't portrayed as seriously as they probably should. Let's see, how old was I when I started to like G.I. Joe? I liked G.I. Joe from 1983 when it first came out, when I was 13. I didn't start collecting till 85. I wish I had started collecting in 83. I had heard about G.I. Joe. In fact, I had picked up the first 2 Cobras in 1982 as a kid because they looked cool. And so I still had those in my collection when I started collecting. I didn't even know I had them. I went and looked through my toys, and I found him after I had started collecting. It was kind of funny. I had forgotten about him. He was still in the womb. No. I was government issued. That's what I said about Duke in the Rise of Cobra movie. He said Duke wasn't born; he was government issued. I thought that was pretty funny. And so in the cartoon, they were fun. They were a fun antagonist for G.I. Joe in as an alternative to Cobra. And yeah, they worked for Cobra and they were part of Cobra, but yet they weren't, and it was kind of cool. But in the comic books, they were a little different. They were a rough, tough, mean biker gang. And there's Torch right there. This was the second cover he was on. I do have a version of issue 30, which was the first one they were on, I'm pretty sure. As a trio there, Torch. Let's see, we got Torch, Ripper, and Buzzer right there in my favorites order. It's kind of funny that it turned out that way. A lot of people like Buzzer. I think he's a cool Dreadnok too. He's just not my favorite. Now this cover is, let me get it out of the plastic so you can see it better. Because the shine sometimes on these plastic sleeves takes away from the actual comic. Yeah, and I bought this newsstand when it came out, so I've had this since it was released, and I loved G.I. Joe comics right from the gate. I started collecting them. But I was late to the party, so I actually started. I got my first subscription on issue 52, so that's how late I was to the party. But I ended up picking up most of them, and when I had a comic book store, for a while I actually sold some of them, and I wish I hadn't, because I would have had the full run, and I'm missing about 16 issues now. One of which is number 30, and this is a comic book 2-pack, which is what this modern Torch came with. He came with this 2-pack. If I remember correctly, this is the one that came with him. and him and Ripper, who's right there on the cover. Now on the original, Torch is there, and you can hardly see him, but he's on the cover here. On the original version of this, though, Torch, you can see him a lot better. Now, let me see if I have that on my computer. If I do, I will bring it up. Oh, I do too in a sleeve. It takes up less space, and so sometimes I like to show off both. This is like issue 35, and then you've got issue 36 on the back. So lots of cool G.I. Joe comics. I like to show them all off. I love the comic series by Larry Hama. Very, very cool. Now let me see if I have that pick. And if I do, I will load it up and I'll show it to you. I should have thought of that before I started. But you know, when you do live stuff, you think about things while you're live and you go, hey, that would be cool if I had that one. And I do. All right, sweet. So I'll bring that up and I'll show it to you in just a sec. But so in the storyline in the comic books, they were serious antagonists, like I was saying, and that's how Cobra used them. They were mercenaries. They were technically part of Cobra, but they weren't. They worked for Cobra, but they did not have the militant Cobra attitude. And here's that cover. And as you can see there, Torch is definitely a lot more visible than he is on the remake here, which I'll pop up right here on the remake right there. So you can hardly see him. And then on this one, he's like right there, you know, and you can see him torching that jet there. They actually went onto an Air Force base and started destroying jets. It was pretty cool in that issue. And yeah, then they just rolled down the highway and they didn't get caught. It was like, what the hell? And then Three Joes were on the road at that time, heading from their base to the West Coast. They were going to do a road trip across the country. Rock and Roll, Clutch, and Breaker. They were a trio, and I want to do a Brothers in Arms video with those three, and I probably will do that the next month. I hope so, if I can, and that would be cool because those three guys, they were in the comics. They were always together on leave. They would go, they'd take their leave together, and they would have some good times. And one of which was going up against the Dreadnoks. It was pretty cool. In that particular issue, that was pretty cool in issue 35. So yeah, that so in the comics, Larry Hama took them seriously, but yet he was more interested in Zartan, and that's for obvious reasons. Zartan is a really cool character. As far as the Dreadnoks are concerned, he didn't really go into the individual characters a lot. Buzzer had an arc, but I don't think Torch ever did. Have a good one, Logan, and everybody live and chat. I will see you guys on Spine Ticks later on. Thanks, buddy. That's a good segue into me plugging Spine Ticks live tonight. Link in the description. Please check us out, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So for me, 9 o'clock. See you later, Robert. Yes. Thanks for joining us, Robert. Appreciate it. All right. So that is kind of the character of Torch. He sometimes took a leader role in the Dreadnoks. Usually Buzzer did, but Torch sometimes did. Now, I don't see him as the leader of the Dreadnoks. I see him as, like, if you're talking about a motorcycle club, I see him as the sergeant at arms. And that's a role that they assign the guy who's in charge of the weapons and other things. You know, I don't know much about motorcycle clubs in general, but I've seen a few shows and whatnot that probably aren't even remotely accurate. But Sons of Anarchy was a good one, and the Sergeant at Arms was a pretty cool character, and that's kind of how I picture Torch. He was like their weapons guy, and he knew the torch. The best way to show that off is I have a video of his file card that I have updated. I had one that I did during Cobra Convergence back in July. The old memory is there. It just takes a minute sometimes. Said I wanted a flamethrower and YouTube blocked it. You know, sometimes they get a little carried away and overzealous, but also they're trying to protect people, and I get that. But here's Torch's file card.
Tornado torch, straight on Switzerland, tornado region, birthplace, mining aid, New South Wales, Australia, primary specialty, slave flow is secondary specialty, infantry, specialty in lotus operating. Works with Aussie and settling ports as a general planner, mostly on remodeling stolen cars, and occasional safe package, scavengers of swamp, for fun and profit. Subject was commanded to force Australian for responsible, and exporting his gate, and went to sea in the mentioned marine, putting on the use of the cunning torch. Watches in illiterate, unreflected song, respected for sudden and unexpected violence. It's not only by now the depth of his stupidity. Destroyed our foundation, and the rest comes tumbling down. Like the look in their eyes when I come Watches in illiterate, unrepentant song, whose penchant for sudden and unexpected violence is not only by now the depth of his stupidity. Destroy the foundation, and the rest comes tumbling down. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off. I like the look in their eyes when I bounce off, bounce off. Dreadnoughts. Rolling down the road like thunder, liver cuts, buzzing guts, you'll hear the rumble. Tremble before us as we make our way. Nomads across the world, ripping our engines with excess, just enough to impress. Oh yeah!
And I managed to fix it during the video, so it's cool. The one that just is posted on the channel right just now is the one that says Torch. I can't believe I said how to say focus. But there, so that takes us to my opinion of Torch, like I was saying. I see him as the Motorcycle Club's Sergeant at Arms, and I see Dreadnoks way differently than a normal motorcycle club. They're kind of a fantastical motorcycle club. Whereas Sith, he's usually here for all the G.I. Joe stuff. I know, but he's probably getting busy for Spine Tricks tonight. Sometimes he shows up, but not always. And he probably forgot, even though I had told him. But that's okay. We all have lives, and I get that. Anyway, like I said, Torch is my favorite Dreadnok, and the way I see Dreadnoks as a organization, they are a little different. In my head canon, I even take it a step further. I see Dreadnoks as riding in pairs of 3, and I call it like a covey, and they're all like a coven, like they're a bunch of witches, because that's kind of how Zarana sees them, as a group of witches. And so she basically, when she showed up, she kind of took over the Dreadnoks, and Zartan doesn't care. It's like he's like the president and she's like the vice president, and she took over and he let her do kind of whatever she wanted with the Dreadnoks. And in my head canon, she grouped them in pairs of 3. Like her covey is her, Zartan, and Xandar. And when Zartan, kind of was in and out, Zartan's daughter kind of pops in sometimes. And so for Torch, his covey is Ripper and Buzzer. Now the other next covey would have been Thrasher, Monkey Wrench, and Zanzibar. But it gets kind of a little convoluted after that, because there was only Road Pig and Nagahide in the vintage line. And then Burnout came out in like the 2000s, so I kind of considered them a covey. And then I kind of put the newer Dreadnoks after that, which there were 3 in their own little newer Dreadnok category. And that was Storm Rider, who I have. I do not have Heart Wrencher, and there was another Dreadnok that I cannot think of at the moment that had a release as well. I think either the exclusive collectors club only or as a convention. I don't remember, but I mentioned them all in the song Dreadnoks that I put out. So there, Zanya was there too. So like I said, she kind of goes back and forth, and that might be who I was thinking of. But like I said, I mentioned them all in there. You rewatched your live and don't know. Like, you don't like how it sounded? It sounded stupid. No, you didn't sound stupid. I mean, you just sounded like you were new at it, and that's fine. We get better with experience, Jess. And even me, I've been doing this over a year, and sometimes I stammer a little bit and get stuck and caught up in what I'm doing. Hello, Sydney Cat. Welcome. Just about wrapping up my Joe take on Torch. Meow, meow, meow. In my head canon, he's like, if you just count the Dreadnoks, the Z family is kind of like the management, and Zartan, Xandar, Zarana, and Zartan's daughter Zanya, which she's not even part of Larry Hama's canon, I don't think. I haven't seen the newer one, so I don't know if she's been added, but she wasn't last I saw, which was around the 280s, 290s, maybe even. And they went to 300 with IDW, and now they've switched over to Skybound, which is an Image comic, which I've read like the first 3 of those, 301, 302, and 303. I have them digitally, but I don't have physical copies like this, like I prefer. And it was okay. It was interesting. Larry Hama was trying something different that he hadn't tried before, and I get that. And so he was trying to be edgy, and it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. I think he's finding his legs on a new company, and that happened with IDW at first too. So I think he'll get his footing and just take off again like he did with IDW. So that is my take on Torch, my favorite Dreadnok. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I do have another little video here. The Anjo takes 52, which is what this episode is. Torch from the Hilt. That has a bunch of images and some of that Dreadnok song again. And yeah, that's going to be my Dreadnok's theme song. So whenever I have a Dreadnok character that I look at, I'll use that song, because now I have a song for the Dreadnoks. So Torch inspired me to write that. So that's where we're at. And so thank you all for being here. You're taking your stuff in the bedroom. Will you tell Ray? Well, I will yell Ray for Ray to wake up. Hey, well, I'm taking off, so he's going to be there for Spine Ticks. I hope you guys are. Spine Ticks is at 8 o'clock Pacific time. So if you're Mountain, that would be 9, and then that's 10 o'clock Central and 11 for Eastern. So yeah, that's kind of rough for you folks on the East Coast, unless you're night owls like me and Jess Laws. So we'll see you guys on Spine Ticks tonight. And so on that note, Logan out, and we'll catch you guys later. Thank you all for joining me.
Rolling down the road like thunder, with the guns buzzing guts, you'll hear the rumble. Turn before us as we make our way. Nomads across the world, revving our engines with excess, just enough to impress. Oh yeah. We are dreadnoughts, in town giving shots. We're mean and cruel, taking everything right down to your fuel. Dreadnoughts are coming, you won't be succumbing. Dreadnoughts. Blades, bullets, and fire, wherever we go.
Back of you dirty American swine.
Let me get this right now. Take this down, and I'll have to fix that later. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Lowlight and Torch. Two really cool characters. Interesting to put them together. Came out one right after the other, and I broke my glasses tonight, so I'm gonna have to get me a new pair. It's driving me crazy right now. But I did promise I have a couple of videos I'll play for you. I got a new song for Torch that I put out that was I made for this video, so we'll be checking that out here in just a bit. We got tomorrow night, we got kind of a double feature. We're doing RPG Takes number 4, which is going to be the Village of Hamlet. I'm going to be joined by the Tiger and Jake for a discussion on that adventure, because he ran it for us at one point. So be recall, this is the real Logan. Yes, indeed, Jess Laws, it is. And hello to everybody who has joined me tonight. I appreciate y'all for being here. It takes some time to go back through the chat and shout everybody up, but shout out to everybody who jumped in. Shout out to anybody who watches this in the replay. I hope you enjoy it. Is there a fake Logan? No, it was just video. It was just an old video a little bit ago. I played two. That's the theme of Joe Takes Classics. I play. I come on a bit, and then I show older Joe Takes. Next Wednesday is going to be Joe Takes 59, and that's going to be Doc from the Hilt. So that if you don't know the Doc character, check it out, and I'll let you on the full skitty on who Doc is and show off his figures. And I got the vintage and the classified version of Doc. You dress up as Logan and patrol the streets of your town at night. Well, that would be pretty impressive. Let me put on some background music here. Not as loud as the other one, Jess. I'll try. I've gotten it down to a pretty good science. So. Yeah. So Friday we're back for our season finale this week. We're not going to be doing any Fridays all next month. We're going to be taking a break. I'm going to be putting together a G.I. Joe movie with figures and having some fun. You'll be able to see our hands and everything in the video, but we're going to do some cool voices and have some fun with it. And we got some people who are going to join us for voices on that one. Just hang out in Kroger parking lot. Well, our Kroger is actually the Food King. Smith's is what they call it. Smith's Food King is what they originally called it. When Kroger bought it, they just changed it to Smith. But yeah, it's a Kroger technically, I think it's a Kroger chain. I don't know. Maybe they just merged. I'm not really sure how franchises crap work on that. Are people scared? Just hang out in Kroger. I used to patrol my street with a headlamp and a grill brush. True. Grill brush. That's funny, Jess. So yeah, Friday, and we'll be doing a double feature on our topic take. We'll be looking at Undercover Blues, which we just watched last night. I love that movie. It's a great movie with Kathleen Turner and Dennis Quaid and Stanley Tucci. Great movie. And the double features with True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tia Carrere. So many cool people. Charlton Heston in that movie. Tom Arnold was in both movies. So we're going to have some fun talking about those two movies on Friday. Neighbor saw you and was like, what the fuck are you doing? Well, you know, patrolling these dangerous streets. I've never done that, but, you know, I did think about it seriously as a teenager. All right, so that's what's coming up this just the next few days. Not doing anything tomorrow night. Yeah, I am doing the double feature tomorrow night, and Friday is Fridays from the Hilt. So we've got things going from tonight, all the rest of this week. Sunday is Al the Dragonhead session 15. Jess Laws will be joining me for that. Rudini, Ray, Katie Robbins, and the Tiger. Jake Pendragon is our ref on that one, so we'll have a lot of fun. We always do. So we'll be getting back to that, and then Monday night we'll be playing a new military action game set in a future even beyond the current military action game. And Jess Laws is going to be in that game with her, with the Tiger, and Katie Robbins in that one too. So we should have some fun this Sunday and Monday. And like I said, Wednesday we're back here doing Doc from the Hilt. Not doing Doc, but just talking Doc from the Hilt. And then just kick the month off of May, we'll be back with doing a new radio show. So we're going to be doing our spy episode that we were supposed to do this month, but other things came up in life and all that. You could come jaywalk or something. Running with scissors, sit too close to the TV. Yeah, all that kind of stuff that they told us not to do. But like I said, I do have a couple of videos I'm going to play for you. Let me grab that grill brush. So yeah, I wrote a song for Torch a while ago, and I meant to have it on this video, but it's been delayed a couple of times. But I'm glad we finally got to it. So here is my song for Torch. It's called Burn It Down by Grim and the Reapers, my AI personalities. I hope you enjoy. This is definitely a death metal song, so brace your ears. And then I've got I'll just play them both back to back, and we'll say goodnight right now. But I'll play the remastered version of Eyes in the Night with all new images and stuff for low light. So we get all that in tonight, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night. We're starting up at 6 p.m. Mountain, so that would be 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 Central, and 5 Pacific. And then about an hour or two afterwards, I'll be reading an Endless Quest book. So Thursday night is full tomorrow night. So we're going to have some fun. A lot of things had to get rescheduled to that ear-bracing wonder. So I got Burn It Down and Eyes in the Night for you. And on that note, my friends, thank you for joining me. Logan out.
Get ready to burn. I was born in the Bay where the tough ones brawl. Kicked out of school before I learned it all. Barstool bars couldn't hold me down. I hit the sea, set fire to the town. Scorching torch, that's what I do. If it's locked up tight, I'll burn right through. You see me coming, best step aside, cause I don't knock, I liquefy. Burn the walls, melt it down. Light 'em up, watch 'em drown. cars, but I don't got tools. An oxy torch works just as cool. Ain't no safe, I can't ignite. You keep your codes, I got a light. Swamp the street, I take what's mine. Gold or garbage, it all burns fine. When I fight with style. I like to look in their eyes when I box them a while. Some mess even louder, burn the walls. Melt it down, light them up, watch them drown. Destroy the foundation and the rest comes tumbling down. Burn it down. Smoke and steel, I own this town. Burn it down. Lock it up, I'll burn it down. Some blokes like to pick locks. I like to pick fights. Safe's too tough, burn it through. Car won't start, I'll burn it down. I like the look in their eyes when I bug short. Bloody hell, that's a proper fire. Let me give you a light. Bloody hell, that's a proper fire. Let me give you a light.
Creeping through shadow, moonlight whispers down, eyes like a hawk, silent on the ground. The world is asleep, I'm wide awake. Darkness my cover, every move I take. I see in the night, I breathe in the dark. Low light the name, hitting every mark. The city's still, not a soul to hear. Predator in silence, my prey is near. Cold in every corner, no sound around. Heartbeat steady, feet on solid ground. I see in the night, I breathe in the dark. Low light the name, hitting every mark. The city's still, not a soul to hear. Predator in silence, my prey is near. Cold in every corner, no sound around. Heartbeat steady,
don't understand.
I do. I understood that reference.
Next time, baby.